My name is Chad London, and I'm the Dean of the College of Kinesiology here at the University of Saskatchewan. I'll be your MC this morning, and I'm so pleased to welcome you all to today's event, the University of Saskatchewan's first ever Be Well Day. We're welcoming students, staff, faculty. We have colleagues from the Saskatoon community and from other universities. We have people in the room, and we have a live stream happening as well. So welcome to everybody here at the Physical Activity Complex at the University of Saskatchewan, and to those who are beaming in from around the globe. As we gather here today, we acknowledge that we are on Treaty 6 territory and the homeland of the Métis. We pay our respect to the First Nations and Métis ancestors of this place and reaffirm our relationship with one another. Our president, Peter Stoichev, sends his regrets this morning, but he wanted you all to know how supportive he is of the university's wellness strategy moving forward. He's been very engaged in its development, and you will see for yourself, because we're going to see him in a video later on, and you'll hear what I hear in his voice when he talks about the wellness strategy. And that's just a huge commitment to the wellness of all members of our university community. He's not here today, but I want to show him. I'm blown away with how many people we have here, and I want to show him. So if you'll indulge me, I'm going to take a quick photo, and so he can see for himself. And why don't we make it a selfie, actually? Okay. There we go. Today, Be Well Day marks such an exciting day for the U of S. We have a great day planned for you. We have an amazing keynote speaker that you're going to hear from shortly, Alan Kaler. We have breakout sessions happening this afternoon on campus. You're going to see the launch of the video that I mentioned, and there are also door prizes. So hopefully you got your ticket on your way in. We have some amazing door prizes that we will draw at the end, with apologies to people on the live stream. I've had the privilege myself of being involved in the development of the wellness strategy over the past many months, and it's been a rich and a meaningful experience for me, as most wellness journeys are. I started my appointment at the U of S approximately 10 months ago as the Dean of Kinesiology, and part of what drew me here was the university's commitment and approach to health and well-being. It worked on a prospective Dean of Kinesiology anyways. There's a culture here. There's a culture on campus and in this city and in this province to take care of each other, to look after each other, to be healthy in all aspects of that word, socially, physically, emotionally. People genuinely care here. I felt that ever since I arrived, and that's part of what is embedded within this wellness strategy. And so both in the College of Kinesiology and at the university, I saw a unique opportunity to do something special, for us to lead by example, for us to do what universities do, to generate knowledge, to share knowledge, to implement knowledge, and in this case, to enhance the health and well-being of people in our community, locally and globally. I had the opportunity to, a couple of years back, to participate in what is known as the Okanagan Charter. So the Okanagan Charter came together at a conference of health-promoting universities and colleges. And back in 2015 in Kelowna, a charter was developed. And this charter puts out a call to action, a call to post-secondary institutions worldwide to make a commitment to embed health in all aspects of the campus culture and to take the lead in those actions and promoting that across their campus and beyond. So the charter was developed in 2015, and what I saw in that charter, I saw the U of S already committing to. And so universities are able to sign on to the charter. And with President Stoichev's endorsing signature, and with the commitment of many people in this room, but students, staff, faculty, and university leadership, the U of S has signed on to the charter. And they're one of 10 universities that across Canada that had done that at the time. Signing on to the charter, though, is not just putting pen to paper. With the adoption of the charter, you make real commitments. And that's what we are doing with this strategy and with the charter. You make commitments like committing to creating a culture where there's an environment of improving the health and well-being across all that you do. The U of S also made a commitment to work collaboratively across the student portfolio and in the employee portfolio when it comes to well-being. We made a commitment to include Indigenous worldviews in our approach to health and well-being. And we've also made a commitment to collaborate and share our best practices with other institutions and with other community groups across Canada and beyond. And so hopefully some of those folks are on the live stream today, and we're sharing in that way today with them. So the work is just starting in some ways, but in many ways it's been happening for years. We do have something special here. As I said, one of the ways that this is unique is we do have the student and employee portfolios working together. And I want to introduce two people who lead those portfolios and turn the time over to them. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Cheryl Carver. Cheryl's the Associate Vice President of People and Resources. And I'm going to introduce Patty McDougall, our Vice Provost of Teaching and Learning. So let's give them a welcome.
Thank you so much for being here. This is an exciting day for us both. I want to start by thanking Chad. You've been an incredible advocate and champion for all of this work, and we so much appreciate it, and I want to extend our thanks to you, and hopefully that will continue long into the future. I also wanted to take a few minutes to just talk a little bit about the partnership and how it came to be, and why it's so important for the university. About 2 years ago, when I became the head of HR, I spent some time with the team of people that were responsible for faculty and staff wellness on campus. They had been supporting this work for many, many years. I gained a really great appreciation for the amazing work that had been done on this campus to support wellness. And we all, I think, realized that we have an important responsibility as an employer to try to make this the best place it can be for our faculty and staff, and that people come to work healthy and engaged every day. But as part of that discussion, we asked ourselves a question, an important question, and I think I want to reflect that to you. The question was, is this the best that we can do to support wellness on campus? And what I heard from everybody was, despite all of the great work that was happening, the resounding answer was no. We can do more. So with a renewed sense of commitment to this work, we took on the task of doing some planning and having some dialogue, and asking ourselves, what would it take to be the best that we can be in this area? How do we deal with issues like mental health? How do we deal with work-life balance issues? How do we help people with all their lifestyle challenges, and make sure that this is a place that we all want to be? And a light bulb kind of went off for me. That happens on occasion, sometimes. And we started thinking about students and the fact that we're more than just an employer. We're a community. People live here, they work here, they study here. And that broader context is not something that we brought to the Wellness Initiative necessarily on campus. So I started engaging in a conversation with Patty and her team to talk about all the great work they were doing to support wellness on campus. And when we started that conversation, I would have to say that the enthusiasm was contagious, the challenges were all the same kinds of challenges, and the thought of what we could potentially do together, as opposed to doing it separately, was something that created a real sense of excitement. And that's how this whole partnership was born. So I want to thank you, Patty, for being a partner in this work, because it's been an amazing journey so far. We're not near the end. I think this just marks the beginning, and there's a lot left to do. But I think based on what we've done today, and you're going to see a lot of what we have planned and what's coming forward for the university, I can say, I think, with much more confidence that we are on the track to doing the best that we can do for the institution. So that's really what I wanted to say. I also think, to Chad's comment, I'm hoping that this is modeling the way for lots of universities and institutions across the country, because the value of this partnership is incredible. So.
Well, good morning, everyone. Be well this morning. Thank you for joining us. My thanks to Cheryl for setting the stage about our partnership, and of course, I'm very grateful to her. It's an exciting day. It's a proud day. I always get excited when Howler is in the room. I don't know about anybody else. We are continuing. Hey, Howler just waved to me at the back. That was good. We continue to strive to be one of the best universities in the world. And we are constantly finding new ways to address the needs and the aspirations of Saskatchewan and the world. And if we're going to be successful in those pursuits, we need to ensure that the people that are helping us get there, the faculty, the staff, the students, are engaged and healthy. So we need to embed wellness in our institutional fabric, and that's what we're trying to do here. By giving people the support and the wellness opportunities that they need, the university commits to creating an environment that's going to enable our campus community members to reduce the risk of illness and, where possible, achieve optimal health and well-being. I want to be sure today to emphasize that the development of the wellness strategy has taken heavy lifting from our campus community, from across campus. And so many people have been involved, adding in their ideas, sharing, offering advice and guidance about a good way forward. Of course, I won't be able to name everyone, but I will say that across the teams, that this work has been a priority for Raylan Bliss and Peter Headley, who are off to the right here, who formed a very strong partnership. And Cheryl and I are very grateful for the two of them and all of the colleagues on the teams that have supported this work. I think every time we move forward with something new, we have to remind ourselves that we are standing on the shoulders of others. And in this case, I want to be sure to acknowledge the work of those who participated for years on our Healthy Campus initiative, who kept going, who kept things going, waiting patiently for the rest of us to jump in and get involved. So my thanks to those of you. I know there are people in the audience who were part of that Healthy Campus for years, and I thank you for keeping things going such a positive direction. You're going to hear today in a moment about the 6 areas of support that outline how the university can promote and support the health and well-being of all who work, live, and study at the University of Saskatchewan campuses. These are our foundations. It took countless hours through the thinking of what underpins these areas for the strategy. But of course, I want to echo what Chad said a moment ago, that we're only getting started here. And so that strategy has high-level aspirations in it. The content, I think, as you'll see, suggests what you can be doing, what individuals in the university can be doing right now to keep mind, body, and life healthy. Please know that since we are starting and getting rolling, there will be lots of opportunities still available for students, for faculty, for staff to be involved in the support of a culture of wellness. In truth, we need everybody. We need a critical mass who will help to create a wellness culture that is contemplated in this strategy. So thank you very much for being here. I'd like to call forward Peter Headley, our Director of Student Affairs and Services, to highlight some of the key aspects of the wellness strategy. Be well and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I just also like to echo my thanks to everybody joining us on the live stream. We spent a lot of time getting some input from other universities across Canada, and exactly as Chad said, our commitment was to share some of our learnings, some of our hard-won learnings in some cases with others, so that's part of that. So I joined the university about 18 months ago, and for exactly the same reasons that Chad has just mentioned, that actually there seemed to be an exciting opportunity for a university that was keen to address a lot of the things that I really cared about that were important in my work. So that brought me here to Saskatchewan. And I haven't been let down at all by the people and the work and the direction and the commitment of the institution. So my role this morning is just to very, very briefly highlight some of the aspects of our wellness strategy, our wellness framework, There is a handout in the room that you'll have seen. There's also the full wellness strategy document in PDF form on the university website, so please take the time to have a look at that. So one of the first things that I'll mention is our goal, and it seems very simple, and it's always best that way, I feel, to create an environment that promotes and supports the health and well-being of all who study and work at our campuses. So bearing in mind we are here in Saskatoon, but we are in other locations in Saskatchewan as well. And this commitment was really for us to look through a wellness lens to ensure that we have a renewed approach. We look through new eyes as we stand here in 2017 to all the life and the work of the university and what that actually looks like. And what I'm also showing you, I just want to make a special thanks to our fantastic designer and Kurt Hoffman for all of the visuals that you're going to see here, the visuals that you'll see in the wellness strategy, who helped us think through what everything looked like and what everything felt like. That was uniquely important to us. So the important piece for us was around a holistic approach that's been mentioned already, but the first piece of that was actually thinking of what our framework looked like. So we started off thinking about mind. Mental health was a big thing for us from the get-go, but thinking about different elements around emotional, intellectual, and social, and how those things also connected to body, which is to say that there's different aspects there around nutrition, physical wellness, rest, substance use, but recognizing that these things are separate but interconnected in so many ways that you can not have one without the other. And the final piece of our framework was life, where in a sense everything else fitted as part of the overall picture. But what we were looking to represent fully was the wholeness of a person, the complete person, rather than just looking at a single aspect. And we recognize this is comprised of interdependent elements that have an effect on one another, and especially in the work that my teams do, that's exactly what we look at every day. It isn't a single thing, it's the wholeness of the person that we're looking at. The other piece that's important in this work is what sort of frame we were seeing that through. And there's three components here of promotion, prevention, and intervention. And one of the things that we recognized was that we were very strong in many ways in the areas of intervention. And a lot of the discussions with colleagues around Canada in recent times is this is where a lot of our resources are going. One of the things that we were very clear about was the need to get upstream from some of the issues that we were seeing to actually have a framework that considered where prevention and promotion would play a role, very intentionally to move to a space where we were thinking about that. And it didn't mean that we had tons more resources, but just how could we think about that differently? And thinking about the promotion, prevention, intervention, I have found to be tremendously helpful just in my discussions from people. But how do we change some of what's happening in ways that we can actually focus on the preventative piece and we get people thinking day to day? So there's 6 strategic areas of support that fall within promotion, prevention, intervention. So we commit to ensuring a supportive foundation, fostering a healthy culture and environment, raising awareness and maintaining healthy behaviors under promotion. Under prevention, we will be identifying risk and responding early. Developing resilience and self-management competencies was incredibly important. This is something that came out very, very clearly to us. And finally, under intervention, providing services, training, and critical support for everyone on campus. The detail of this is in the strategy document, but it will also be in the implementation plan. So when you're reading the strategy document, if the question is, and we've had it a number of times, where's all the detail of what this looks like? So that will be part of our forthcoming implementation plan as well. So it will be larger, broader strokes within the strategy. So the focus overall, as has already been mentioned, of where possible, we will look to reduce the risk of illness. We will look to support people in managing various conditions, short or long-term conditions, but ultimately support our community in activities that will enable them to optimize their health and well-being. The final thing that came out very, very clearly to us, and we've talked about the amount of care and support and how things feel here in Saskatchewan, of 2 particular pieces about taking the time to care for ourselves in terms of self-care, but alongside that actually caring for our community, where there is both individual and collective responsibility, but the university taking ultimate responsibility for creating that environment of caring and supporting. So as has been mentioned, our president, Peter Stoichev, isn't here with us this morning, but one of the things that we will share with you in just a moment is a video where really you see with his voice speaking to what our commitment looks like. And finally, before we share that, I would just say that our strategy here is a recognition of where we stand today, but also it's an aspiration of where we seek to be. So as has been mentioned, it's a beginning for us, but it's also part of ongoing work. At least for a couple of us in the room, it's also a fairly big relief as well. But today represents that starting point for us as to how we begin to perhaps think differently and work differently. So I'll finish off just to say that I'll invite Terry to come up, and we'd like to share a message from one of our key supporters in this work, President Stoichev. And just as Terry cues that up, my thanks particularly to the wonderful media production team who supported on this, especially our editor, Joanne Crawford, who did so much of the work that went into refining this and making what you will see today.
Over a century ago, our first president, Walter Murray, noted that in laying our foundation, we must remember that we are building for centuries. Like so many universities across Canada and around the world, we've increasingly recognized the struggles that many in our university community face in relation to their well-being, especially mental health, and the impact it has on their daily lives and on those around them. We also recognize that the health of our community and environment is vital to both the success of the university and of each of us, now more than ever. Implementing an institutional wellness strategy is an important and necessary step for us. In doing so, we commit to thinking deeply and intentionally as a university community in taking a holistic approach to wellness and critically examining our policies, processes, and practices to ensure they support wellness. We commit to creating an environment that promotes and supports the health and well-being of all who study and work at our campuses. We will have a culture of wellness that will exist in every place and every space. To create this culture of wellness, we will I challenge every one of us to be part of this change. Together, we will create a culture of wellness as we care for ourselves and our community and build for centuries to come.
So the intention there is really to engage people, to have people go and take a look, read, see how they can get involved. So that's the most important thing to us now. As we say, we're beginning this work in so many ways. So I'd like to hand over to my partner in all of this work, who's already been mentioned, Raylin Bliss, who's been the co-chair of the Wellness Strategy team, but really for me, the driving force behind everything that we've done. So I invite Raylin to join us.